Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this week's Deck Tech. If you like the shows here, go ahead and hit subscribe down below, ring the bell. That way you'll know every time we make something new. Or if you want, go over to check out patreon.com/commandersbrew if you want to support the show directly with your hard-earned cash. But let's get right to this week's Deck Tech. Here we go.
Ooh, Andy, you came up with a fun one this week. Tell us about your idea.
Okay, so I've been wanting to do this one for a while. It's Verena, Lich Queen. It's a new slant on the zombie deck. Like, we've done Esper zombies on the show before, but Verena came out after that and has really given a new direction to the Esper zombies deck that kind of was a bit of a wish-wash mismatch a little bit. But she's kind of brought them together and has provided great leadership. So obviously with Verena, we want to get a lot of zombies out. We're going to be attacking. We're going to be drawing that many cards and then discarding them. So it's kind of this like card selection and mill kind of all in one. We'll also be gaining life when we do that, so that's a big part of this deck too. And she also has this cool added ability where we can exile 2 cards from our graveyard and make a zombie. So that's not irrelevant. It is something that can come up. So I've called this deck Verena Lich Queen a combo zombos.
Amazing.
And like yeah, go ahead.
The thing that I hadn't noticed until I kind of was looking at this deck as a whole was that her ability, I guess in my mind I was just assuming it was mill. It's not mill. It's straight, like it's like big loots.
Yeah,
so
that's what it is. Yeah.
You will keep the cards that you want in your hand, and you will send to the graveyards the card you want in the graveyard. In these graveyard decks, there's always a couple cards you don't want in the graveyard because like, oh, I really want that on the board. Guess what? Verena's not going to make you get rid of them.
Yeah, it's more sifting. It's almost like if that were a keyword in Magic. But it is just looting, whatever. There already is.
It's like multiple loots.
Yeah, right. So it's very, very helpful. It's very, very good. And calling it a combo deck isn't exactly true. It's not one of these hard combos where we just go nuts and win the game. It kind of creates a board setup, and then attacking and gaining life and stuff like that it kind of combos together. So it's a soft combo, really, if that. But let's talk about it. Let's get right into these neat moves.
Working on a
neat
move.
Okay, neat move number 1. This is very neat. We're going to start with Gravecrawler, which we can cast from our graveyard as long as we control a zombie. We've got Grimgrin, which is a classic zombie, formerly a zombie commander, but I think Grimgrin's a better 99 these days. Grimgrin, so this is how we're going to sack Gravecrawler to get it back into the graveyard, and we're going to loop this by using Rooftop Storm so that Gravecrawler costs nothing from the graveyard. Or from anywhere. So Rooftop Storm makes all zombies cost nothing, but Gravecrawler gets to come back from the graveyard. So it's like, here we go. How big do you want Grimgrim to be? Because you can't just say infinity, you have to name a number. So I'm going to name 1,400,006.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's an infinite combo, obviously, they're together. And if you team it up, so that's a 3-card infinite combo. So we're not doing something broken bonkers on turn 3 or 4 or something like that. This takes a while to set up, especially since we need one of these other cards too, like Plague Belcher or Diregraph Captain or Vengeful Dead, each with the text line that whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So this right here wins you the game. Any combination of those 3 first cards plus one of any of these 3 down here, this is what's going to allow us to win the game. But also, just in the deck in general, having zombies die and being able to deal damage to each of our opponents or having them lose life, that is a very strong ability to have, considering we're going to have lots of tokens, lots of zombie tokens. And that's kind of the, again, combo part of this deck is about them dying and us hitting them for life as that happens.
Oh, yeah. Another thing we want to do is just get a lot of zombies out there. It's good to have zombies out. There isn't a quicker way. Well, maybe it's not the quickest way, but there isn't a more efficient way than Army of the Damned. 5 black, black, black for a sorcery. Right? It's cost a lot to get our 13 zombies. We can flash it back, so we can get 26 zombies total for this. Like, that's a lot for a card on its own. And we're going to pay for it, but we're going to get massive gain, especially with something like Wayward Servant out. Yeah, whenever they enter, that's a life gain of 13. In addition to, I expect we're going to attack with them as well, so Verena's going to gain us even more life once they all swing in.
Yeah, Wayward Servant is so good in this deck because you just need the zombies to come into play. With the other cards, we need them to die a lot of the time, but Wayward Servant is kind of the other way. It works on the other flip side. So if you have both things going at once, it can just really add up for your opponents. And casting an Army of the Damned with a Wayward Servant means that your opponents all lose 13 life and you gain 13 life, which is a massive swing. In addition to you having so many zombies out. Next is a card that you barely even need to combo it with anything, but there are just some other cards that work specifically well with it. Noxious Ghoul is a very good card in any zombie tribal deck that makes it very difficult for your opponents to keep creatures on the board, especially small ones. You're going to be hitting -1/-1 for everything, again, that comes into play, which is very nice. But what makes it especially tough to deal with for your opponents is if you have a Newscraft mob out at the same time. So Newscraft Mob is a 6-mana 0/0 that comes in with 5 counters, and whenever your opponents cast any spell, or if you cast a spell too, actually, you make a zombie. So every time they're casting something, they're giving all their creatures -1/-1. That can just be oppressive. It means that a lot of times, if they don't want to lose their board, they can't even cast spells. So Newscraft Mob, in addition to just being able to make you a bunch of zombies, is very good. Also, though, if they've done this, if they've got a zombie or two out for you, and their creature's still alive with 1 toughness, guess what? Just add a Verena activation on there. Exile 2 cards, finish them off, because a lot of people, I think, will ignore that ability on Verena, and it's very useful when you have something like a Noxious Ghoul out.
Wow, I love it. Let's talk about Shepherd of Rot. This is the zombie, so we can tap it and make everyone lose a life for each zombie on the battlefield, not just ours. So obviously we're in control of it. We probably have the most zombies, so we get to choose when this is the best. But let's not forget that we're also gaining a bunch of life from Verena's ability, from other things, and from stuff like Grey Merchant of Asphodel, our good buddy Gary. There are ways to gain life, so this Shepherd of Rot effect is sort of a one-sided thing. And as I noticed in your brew here, Andy, black pips are the predominant pip.
Oh yeah, mostly black pips in this deck. Anything that's white or blue is usually even paired with black, so you're actually probably going to be getting black pips even off of your off-color spells, kind of. So Grey Merchant is really great. This is a way to knock down life totals at the beginning of the game, or to close them off and really close out a game at the end as well. This is a neat little combination. Sanguine Bond, the classic enchantment that whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that life. If you combo that out with having a few zombies on the field and a Campaign of Vengeance, which means whenever you attack, you drain for each creature that attacked, it can just be too much. Honestly, if you have this with Verena, forget about it. Verena is going to gain you life for each thing that attacked, right? Then Campaign of Vengeance is going to drain for each creature that attacked. And if you have the Sanguine Bond, it's going to take all that life you gained and turn it into life loss for one target opponent. So you can really gang up on the person that you're attacking, or you can take that Sanguine Bond at life loss and move that over so that you're essentially attacking 2 people at once. These 2 enchantments together, you don't want to see these out together on the battlefield if you're facing this deck. It gets really bad.
No, it's bad. It's bad. I want to talk about a couple other enchantments. Again, I'll remind us with Verena, we don't have to pitch these to the graveyard. If we're looting through cards, we can keep these in our hands and send all our creatures that we draw to the graveyard, because I'm talking about Palace Siege. Andy's signature card here. Most often gonna pick cons so you can return creatures from your graveyard to your hand, but picking the drain side of it is definitely legit in this strategy. And also Phyrexian Reclamation. Paying 2 and 2 life, again, we're gaining life, so that should be fine, to return one of the creature cards that we sifted away through Verena back into our hands. It's like being able to just pick your best creature from your graveyard is arguably better than draw a card. So I think this might be better than Greed in this deck.
It's at the very least, it's very close. I agree. I think this card's amazing because not only is this great when you early in the game, you can cast it for 1 mana and it doesn't really impede your progress very much. But even late game, you cast this and do it once or twice, depending on how much mana you have. You can just get back some very important creatures and get right back into the game.
Some VICs.
VICs, that's right. Another neat little combination is Forgotten Creation, which is a creature that sort of mimics Verina's ability, but we don't need to attack. It just happens on our upkeep. We can choose to pitch our hand and then draw that many cards. Very, very helpful. And then both of those types of abilities, if you got a full graveyard full of zombies, Kisa and Geralf, I mean, being able to cast them then from the graveyard is amazing. This is honestly one of the best cards in the deck. Allowing you to like extend your hand into your graveyard is always a very powerful thing. And that little bit of mill that happens when they come into play is not nothing.
Not nothing. Yeah.
Not nothing.
Can we talk about Vizkopa Guildmage? So the first ability, giving a creature lifelink, is fine, but the second ability is, let's remember that it's stackable. So I can put 2 of these on the stack, and whenever I gain life, each opponent will lose twice that life.
Yeah.
I want to point out it's an each ability. Again, Verena attacking with a bunch of creatures, that's a double stack. But what if we have Whip of Erebos out? Now all our zombies have lifelink. So what is your opponent going to do? So it's like, okay, first of all, I'm going to attack for 10. I've only activated Vizkopa once. Let's say I'm being nice, right? let's say I had to spend 3 on that and 4 on Whip. And now I'm like, okay, I'm attacking with my team. I've activated it once. So first off, everybody's going to lose, like, say, 8. Now, if the zombies, when they hit, everyone else will lose a ton more. And if that isn't going to kill them yet, whenever these creatures are dying, they're probably pinging other players anyway. Like, this is kind of like the game-ending combo. This is what we're sifting for. We're going to sift for stuff like this aggressively. Let's sift aggressively until you get to this. I think in this deck, because let's not forget, you want to throw away... Like, attacking with zombies to a dangerous board where you might lose them is fine.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get them back through other things. And that sifting, that extra sifting is what's going to get us there. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, this deck seems amazing.
Yeah, you'd rather have even a couple non-token zombies probably die and be able to, sift through, 5 or 6 cards in your deck and gain that much life. You'd probably rather have that happen than just sit there and wait, and leave up blockers, depending on what's going on, obviously. But gaining the life is what allows you to turn your creature sideways, right? So
yeah, and so consider, like, we've sifted aggressively. We lost our Vizkopa Guildmage. We cast a Whip of Erebos, and then next turn we return Vizkopa Guildmage, activate its abilities a couple times, boom, game over.
Game over. Necromancer's Covenant is another little card that'll give all your zombies lifelink too, which is and can create a bit of an army as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about some surprising discoveries in this deck, because there's a lot of stuff going on here, and traditionally zombie tribal is something that just is kind of synergistic. It does its own stuff, but how does it relate to this kind of like life gain, drain kind of like new thing that kind of white brings to the table when we're talking about a blue-black zombie deck? Well, I just love that, for one thing, those traditional zombie cards, those ones that we've known to be in zombie tribal decks for years, are still very good. And one case is Zombie Apocalypse. It's the card. It's a sorcery for 6 mana that returns all zombie cards to your graveyard and then destroys all humans. The reason it's kind of a surprising discovery is that you'd be surprised how often this is essentially a board wipe for your opponents. There are a lot more humans in this game than I think any of us give credit for. A lot of commanders are humans. A lot of utility creatures are humans. And this does a decent job.
Yeah, definitely. Another surprising discovery just on the function of it is Kumena's Awakening. Ascend is very easy in Commander, especially this deck. We'll probably always have Ascend. And this is an acceptable, in my opinion, budget version of Phyrexian Arena. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to be drawing 2 cards a turn, and you're not taking a point of damage, so arguably you're getting even more for your extra mana, but like, drop this thing down and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously blue has a lot of good card draw, even probably better than this, you might argue, but I just think that this is a nice budget option for people who are looking to have a blue-black deck and they can't get a Phyrexian Arena because it's like $9. Guess what? Throw a Kumena's Awakening in and you've got one.
I don't know if there's a cheaper, better card in blue even that lets you draw an extra card every turn.
Right? For 4 mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this card's great. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, well, now it is time for the budget report.
Let's talk about all the cards that aren't zombies and kick them out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
Not true. Not true. That's not what we're doing.
That's not what we're doing. But first, we're going to talk about the most expensive card in the deck. Oh, by the way, the deck comes out to about $121.75. So we're over $100 here, but there's definitely a couple ways we can slice it down if that's what you're looking to do. Ghoul Color Geese is the most expensive card in the deck. She comes in at $17, and I'll tell you right now, this card's amazing. It's very good in any zombie-based strategy. However, she's definitely better as a commander. You can do a lot of things that sort of protect her and allow her to gain that haste when you cast her so she can do her ability right away. Otherwise, you're kind of sitting there waiting for a turn of the table. And Ghoul Color Geese doesn't usually last a turn around the table. People target her. They want to get rid of her right away because she's so powerful. So spending the $17 on this one card that may or may not get you a couple zombies, I love the card, but I gotta say, if you're looking to cut budget, she's probably the best way to do it.
I agree. Most of our stuff's got too small power to really break her anyway.
Yeah, there's only a few cards that will be really big based on the number of zombies you have that are like really great to have with her, but you're right. Otherwise, you're sacking 2/2s and 3/3s and stuff like that.
The Scarab God is the next most expensive card. It's $10 right now. It's great. Being able to scribe per number of zombies is fantastic filtering. In addition, help us get that Whip of Erebos or that Phyrexian Reclamation. Being able to snipe a card from a graveyard if someone wants to reanimate is a nice bonus ability too, or just a way to make more zombies with crazy utilities on them, or get our own stuff back. It's a very good card. It's a very good card. It doesn't die easily too. You're going to keep getting it back into your hand. But like, you know, $10, like if you want to save $10, it's fine. It's like, it's not just optimized here.
I think it is optimized, to be honest with you.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
honestly do. I think this card does absolutely everything you want this deck to do. It's, like you said, even that little graveyard hate that also makes you zombies. It's tough to get rid of. It makes them all lose life and scry. It's not just a scry, right?
Oh,
Like,
that's true.
It adds to the function, like the base function of this deck. So I think this card is very much worth $10.
You know what? Yeah, you sold me. $10. It's in.
And finally, Phyrexian Arena, as we mentioned. It's a $9 card. It's gaining us a life. It's gaining us cards while hitting us for life. Obviously, this is really great in a black deck that doesn't have access to blue. This is one of the best black draw spells in the game. But if we have access to blue, we've got some better stuff. Even Commander's Awakening, as you can see, is kind of a very similar thing. So Phyrexian Arena, I would definitely say, is not necessary in this particular deck. Although for other, mono black or like a black red deck or something, like obviously this card's great.
Sure, save the money. Yeah. Great. So we got the deck with cutting those two cards. We got it under $100. I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm happy with that. Definitely.
What's your favorite card of the deck?
Oh, I'm gonna say right now, my favorite card is gonna be Corpse Harvester. It's the it's like the 5-mana 3/3 that you can pay 1 and a black, sack something, and get a swamp card and a zombie card. You get both. So if you have like Shocklands or like the deserts or something like that, something that has that double basic land type on a land, you can actually have this fix your mana. Because we're so heavy based in black, like being able to cast this and activate it's not unusual. But then to go out and reach, get that white mana or that blue mana that you need is actually a great ability. But also it's just going to let you hit your land drops, even when you are fixed already. Plus get you another zombie card. Like it just does so much.
Oh, great. I love it. My favorite card is Pontiff of Blight. Ooh. It's the one that gives all your creatures extort, and it has extort as well. In tokeny type of decks, not that this is central token, but there's a lot of tokens going around. Being able to just pay as much kicker as you want for as much drain as you want on any spell you cast is phenomenal. It actually makes turns where you're just like, you know what, I want to cast one small thing and drain everyone for 8, and I'll gain 24 life. Decent turn.
That can be a game-winning thing, right? Like you can do Viscopa Guildmage, extort to gain all of this life, and with an activation, like just kill people.
Yeah, you don't need to cast spells anymore. Well, just the one. You don't need to cast big spells anymore. You're just like casting tiny spells with massive drain effects tacked onto them. It's crazy.
It's nuts. It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, I didn't know this at first, but this card is a zombie.
Yep.
Very helpful.
Great.
There you have it.
Ooh, fun deck, Andy. You came up with a good one.
I love that Verena offers Esper zombies a route to victory, stronger route even than before, and there's so much zombie synergy in Magic that it's kind of hard to pick. Like, I love that you have so many options now. It's really fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah, let us know in the comments if you got any like favorite zombie cards that we missed or something like that. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And otherwise, we'll see everyone next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Big thanks to all our patrons who make these episodes possible.
Yeah, and if you want to check out more comedy videos, check out our Brews News playlist.
Make sure you follow us on Twitch TV to see when we play live.
If you want to chat with us, head over to Twitter. We're at Commanders Brew.
And please hit subscribe to ding the bell and find out when we got new stuff coming out.
See you next time.
Bye.